And we're back.
Baby, come back.
Welcome to Hazardous Endeavors.
Woo!
Yay.
Yes, indeed. Yes, good. Nice dancing. I enjoy it.
Thanks.
Well done. You're playing our song. So yes, welcome back to Hazardous Endeavors, 5th edition D&D actual play podcast brought to you by Digital and Dice. I am your host, Mark, and joining me are Wizard James.
Hello.
Sound Guy Steven.
Hello, hello.
Voiceover Guy Brian.
Hello.
And the Lady Crass.
Hello.
Yes, indeed. And we are going to pick up where we left off with our fun adventurers here. And noticing that apparently someone left a YouTube video on in the background.
If it makes you feel better, it's just us.
There we go.
There
Perfect.
we are. I
Thank
went
you.
and shut us up.
Not
Yeah.
weird at all.
It's probably for the best sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair. So, where we last left our intrepid adventurers.
Someone was trying to get the freak on.
We
Okay, in fairness, I was trying to get firewood. I found a whole bunch of orcs, and then I was swept off my feet by a beautiful elf man who carried me away on his horse and then unfortunately brought me to you.
our Elliot's telling us no, but our Lindo's
It's
telling
telling
us
you
yes.
Oh, yes.
Ain't nothing
hey, that's
wrong with a little bump and grind.
We do not have time for a little bump and grind, Lindo. We have to leave.
We have to run away from an army of orcs.
Everybody has a little time for bumping and grinding. It does not take as long as you think.
So, we're fleeing into the night alongside the road.
Yes. Yes, indeed. You have... Yes, you have met up with Marshal Cyrus Donovan and his cavalry who saved Lindo from a bunch of orcs and has requested that you make your way to Anra'Lathan to deliver the message that they are basically dealing with a fairly large invasion force. And that, he handed Elliot a symbol of his to bring down as a reassurance to the council that you are requesting this on behalf of the marshal.
I see he handed it to Lindo, to Elliot, and not Lindo.
Well, because he was talking directly to Elliot at that time.
It's
bent over
not
his lap.
what what he's going to give Lindo.
I get it.
So, as you gather your things and make your way off into the night, you are able to travel alongside the road for, the rest of the evening until
Sucks.
until daylight comes peeking up over the Anvil Peak Mountains, and you are waking up to, not waking up, you are continuing to be awake during the chilly, somewhat frosty morning.
I hate this, and I am tired, and I am injured, and I am tired.
Most of us are continuing to stay awake.
Right.
Elliot is asleep.
I really also would like at least a little bit of rest. Like, can we take an hour break?
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Okay,
Once we feel safe enough. And
That would be helpful.
I feel safe now.
Yeah. You travel for basically the next 6-8 hours or so through the night until morning. So finding a spot on the side of the road that is away and sheltered isn't too difficult.
Do you think we have enough time for a long rest?
If you wish to take a long rest, you certainly can.
Like sleep through the morning?
I mean, we could probably just take a short rest. Someone's been taking a nap on the back of the horse there.
Yep. Trying to regain my spells.
I could probably take a short rest.
We should take a bit of a short rest.
Yeah.
Here, I've got this nice soothing music that I will play whilst we rest, and that gives you an extra d6 if you're going to spend any.
So you were attacked about 2 days out of Silver Hill, and you've traveled another day at this point. So you have about 4.5 to 5 days more travel south to get through the lands around Anra'Lathan to the city.
I say that we take a short rest and then travel for the rest of the day. If you know you're all right, is your horse all right? I mean, I understand that it's
take a
made
long
of
rest,
magic.
right?
You took a long rest
Okay.
because you slept
It
on the
might
horse.
be an alien, but
Now I don't have to use a ritual for this. Demon's time in the hut again. Except this time it's white, so it just blends with the snow.
Okay.
This will last for 8 hours. Nobody can get in or out except for us.
oh, so apparently we'll just sack out for the day.
You know, I think we should sack out for the morning. I will
Little tiny safe spot.
usually use my sending to immediately tell my master
Okay.
that there is an army off the in the Anvil Peaks.
Do you still have a particular item in your possession?
I do not. Lindo has it.
Okay. And where is Lindo when you're casting your spell?
In the tent with me.
Okay. You feel as you are casting your spell that the magical energies you're casting are actually like being pulled and twisted slightly. You're able to keep control of it, but you note that if you were in a more stressful situation, that might still cause some issue.
Okay. It's getting worse. Hey, Lindo. You need to not be next to me when I'm casting my magic.
But that is rude.
Well, you have something in your possession that screws with it.
Is it my cloak of the Dawnguard?
No.
Is it this secret thing that I have over here that they will not talk to you about?
Wait, what?
Is it this child's doll?
It is obviously the stranger and or
Is it this
La
silver
Monica.
key?
It's
Is it these gemstones?
is it that rock that says hopscotch?
Do you still have that?
I do.
Thankfully, sound doesn't actually leave the.
It's in a special box.
Extremely loud for just for a few moments. They're inside the.
I
tiny
resist
hut.
sonic things. No tinnitus for me.
Lindo,
I'm gonna aim a kick at you.
I'm about to
I am
kick
not
you out of the
resistant
hut.
to Jaxom's boots.
Okay, you told me I had something. I was just curious about what it might be.
That little rock thing that we found in the tree.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't like that near me.
Oh.
What little rock thing you found in the tree?
Just a random.
Oh yes, give it to Mr. Wilf
Screws with magic.
What? Why?
because it'll be hilarious.
Okay.
But Lindo reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small cloth-wrapped thing. And he hands it to you. And as your hand touches it, you actually feel almost like a sizzling pain in your hand.
Nope. Toss it in.
Something
I got
about it seems to react to your flesh somehow.
I think as my inherently magical nature, I think that is a bad idea. If you want, we can always try to experiment and cast different types of spells on it.
Sure.
Go
Matter of
for
fact,
it.
Not in the hut.
Jaxom, you recognize that because when you attempted to pick it up, it did the same thing.
Yep. Nope.
I mean, I could try to bestow curse on it right next to you if you
Oh, no,
want.
let's do it let's outside.
No, outside, because if you do what happened last time I tried to do that, it will destroy our hut.
Yes. Outside the hut.
I think that I was just trying to be a little outrageous there. I don't think it's a good idea.
No, it casts any magic that's cast upon it causes it to malfunction, creating wild magic. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, wild magic. Actually, that's a great question.
You roll Arcana.
15.
15. You've definitely heard of wild magic before, if only because it's something that you run into once or twice. Practitioners are always a bit younger. You don't usually become an old chaos mage.
Oh, I see. You're trying to get me killed.
No. The last time I cast it on it, I just turned into a giant.
That is not inaccurate.
So, what you're saying is you're a frost giant in disguise.
You've done this to yourself.
I did. Anyways, I'm gonna cast sending
Oh,
To
well,
both.
low be it for me to argue
Fail.
with the Jotun here.
and my master. Because I figured those would be that, telling him that there is an army of 7,000 orcs hiding out in the Anvil Peaks. It's probably going to be a problem for both Anra'Lathan,
We should have gotten him a battle
the Anvil
axe.
Peaks, and Dario.
Yeah, obviously,
Okay.
Elliot needs a battle axe because
So-
he is a frost giant.
Anavar responds with, "You're coming home, right? Yeah, you're coming home? Yes?
Yes, but I have to get through the army.
Come home soon and be safe. Avoid them at all costs."
Okay.
Bale's response is something like, "I'm sorry, did you just say 7,000 orcs? I'm pretty sure that's what I heard you say, but sometimes magic can be weird, and I'm unsure that you actually said," and it cuts off.
7,000
Unfortunately,
orcs minus
I am not
12.
wasting any more spells because there are 7,000 orcs in the mountains.
The whole Twitter message issue.
Yeah.
Seriously,
So
we are
many
going.
characters.
We are just giving Bale ulcer after ulcer.
Oh yeah, he still doesn't know what I did in Daria and
Nope. In Cullen Hall?
in Kellen Hall. Yeah, which was nothing.
Doesn't know what you
Right.
did in Dario.
So
Well, Dario is part. Kellen Hall isn't part of Dario.
it's the capital of Dario, yes.
So we take ourselves a bit of a long rest.
I put all my stuff back in my
Indeed.
bag.
So you guys are able to rest.
Wait, what?
I'm gonna look at those things.
No, these are my things.
Heal 999 HP.
I'm just gonna identify them for you.
He just
Okay.
shovels them back into his bag.
You don't have to know what the doll is.
That's for later.
Why do you have a doll? I'm not gonna. No, no.
Where'd you find that, by the way, Lindo?
I don't want to know.
In a box
I just no.
Well, step
with
one,
this key.
you cut the hole in the box.
2, you put your junk in the
Do I
box.
still have that locket?
Detect magic.
I don't still have that locket, do I?
None.
No, none.
Nope.
Except everything I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like a doll and a key.
No, I'm not worried about it then.
So what does it unlock and whose doll was it? Find out next time.
Dragon Ball Z.
They're not magical. I'm not worried about you having them, Mr. Lindo.
Next time on Hazardous Endeavors.
What about this locket?
Also not magical.
Not magical.
It's all right.
What about this symbol of Baylor?
No.
What about this bottle of alcohol?
Where'd you get that one again?
That's from the Rotting Hills.
Oh. Subtle transmutation magic.
Mr. Wilf,
Yeah.
where'd you get that? Where'd you get that?
You're not my mother.
Jaxom,
Yeah,
where'd he get that?
He's also not
in the hills.
How did you know? Never mind. Can I see that? It's magical.
But it's my booze. It's
I'm not
we
gonna
share
drink magical
things
booze.
very, very willy-nilly about this group. But alcohol is sacrosanct.
I promise I will not warm your booze the next time you give it to me.
Okay.
I'll even cool it for you. I identify.
That's actually pretty nice.
I identify it.
Okay. So you identify, it seems to have some properties that would change the appearance, physical appearance of whoever drinks it. But it seems like it would only be for a limited amount of time.
Oh, so it's entertaining booze. Then I give it back to him cold.
Okay.
I do tell you what it is.
Okay.
Drink
tuck that
it,
away.
Drink it. Drink it.
We'll find a good use for it.
Okay, we need to get drunk first, and then we need to
It
do
has
gambling shots.
5 applications of it.
5 applications.
Nice. Maybe curse blues. Entertaining.
It's not permanent, so therefore entertaining.
5.
I mean, technically, poison isn't permanent.
All booze is
Depending on the
poison.
person entertaining.
Also true. So you take your long rest. You are able to get your hit points back, spell slots, etc.
Yay.
And
Does that mean I just regained all my spell slots I just used? Oh,
Yes.
good. Wonderful.
Because you would cast those like at the end when you're basically running through whatever you had left.
Yeah.
So you guys take your long rest. You wake up the next morning.
Though, how difficult is it for you to get back to sleep?
If we went to bed in the morning,
Yes.
All I have to do is rest for 8
Basically, you would
hours.
spend the 8 hours in the day. So you'd still actually be about late afternoon at this point.
so like 1.
Yeah.
So we could just like
Late afternoon, so closer to 3 or 4.
that works. Let's just keep on moseying about.
All right. So you guys get back on the road and start making your way, this time veering off to the south, where you're able to start making your way into the area around Anra'Lathan itself, which is, as soon as you basically started that curve south, you are now in the lands that belong to Anra'Lathan and are outside of Dariel itself. This becomes somewhat apparent, at least at the beginning, because you're noting that every so often, like every, say, about 1,000 feet or so, is a lamp post. And the roads seem to be decently maintained here.
Okay.
Hey, look, it's lit, fam.
Is that? Yeah? You just use that non-ironically?
It was hard.
I can't. I will never punish you as much as you punished yourself by saying it.
Okay.
So the roads are fairly well maintained, and every 1,000 or so feet you find a lamp post that is giving off a kind of a subtle blue glow in the evening.
Nice.
Does it seem like signs of Anra'Lathan?
Yes.
They are obviously magical lanterns.
I said it. Did you hear me? I said the whole thing.
Did hear you say it.
Are they forever burning lanterns type
They
things? Okay.
Like a continual flame, but kind of a bluish color.
It's some very, 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 very weak version of the forever burning flame we were dealing with before. Very weak.
Neat.
I'm
And
going to pretend I understand what you are saying.
the lands around you are mostly like deciduous trees. We're talking like long-limbed, broad-leafed trees, maples, oaks, such like that, that are kind of surrounding the road on both sides. As you continue down south, to the west of you, the terrain kind of slopes down towards the water. But to your left, it seems to plateau out, and even then seems to dip down into some lowlands here and there.
All right. So not a lot of farming, not a lot of
farming out here.
So this is a fairly big city that we're heading to, right?
Yes.
Where do you get your food?
Create food.
Wizards.
I'm sorry, did you just say that you could just create food?
I cannot, but other wizards can. And druids.
Okay. How do they know what flavor the food should be?
They're very good at it.
Well, schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
No, I have a question though. Like, if there are 5 wizards and like a druid, and they're like, okay, make a cake. Chocolate cake. Would all the chocolate cakes taste the same, or is it like if your grandma made it and you say, my grandma makes the best chocolate cake, but every grandma makes chocolate cake different?
I think that they would all taste like chicken.
It's very...
What?
It depends on the taste of the wizard itself.
Okay, so the wizard gets to decipher what is a delicious tasting chocolate cake.
Yes.
I am going to have to ask a lot of wizards about cake
So I hold out my hand
to
and
test this theory.
magic up some chocolate cake.
What spell do you cast?
Prestidigitation.
Okay, so you like make
It's just I've got a small slice of cake in my hand.
I poke it.
just is it a small illusion?
It is a small illusion.
I'm not sure if I can eat that if my hand can go through it.
Try a bite.
Okay.
Prestidigitation, change the flavor.
As you kind of like chomp a little bit.
Tastes like chicken.
You've just eaten chicken cake.
I have a question.
What's your
Just
question,
one?
Lindo?
Just one?
By the way, don't think that counts as a meal. It's
Do you
a cheat
think-
day.
Do you think gnomes have different taste buds than everyone else? For example, do you think that all chocolate cake it tastes like chicken?
Only magic chocolate cake.
I think Mr. Wilf is just teasing you.
Hashtag chicken cake.
Hashtag
Thank you for
chicken
that.
cake.
Please make drawings of chicken cake. Thanks. Please do that. I don't care if you're a bad drawer. I just want to see what chicken cakes look like. I swear to God.
Wild chicken
I will
cake.
post them for intermissions. Make me chicken cake.
Right then.
We continue this conversation as we move down the road, obviously.
Okay. As it gets on into the evening and you're actually moving down into warmer climates. The snow starts to ebb away, and the areas you're moving into are starting to get a little bit more humid. Also, into the evening, as it's getting a little bit warmer, moving south, you're starting to see fireflies flitting between the trees
I'm going to unbutton my
and
coat.
hearing the sounds of small animals, frogs, crickets, things like that.
We can change out of our winter gear.
I
We're
put
starting
back
to see
on my
fireflies,
cloak.
but only one season of them.
Oh, wait, I wasn't even wearing my cloak. My AC was 10.
Too
Nice.
soon.
It's always too soon, I know.
I am slowly taking off my winter clothes and I'm going to put back on, I don't know, some of my red leather pants.
Okay. That's stylish.
Of course.
Or change into nicer, not third-line clothes. Because, well, I'm tiny and I don't have enough to sweat off.
Oh, I also put my tabard back on.
Okay. So basically, over the next 2 days of travel, you guys slowly change out into warmer clothes as the climate is getting a bit better, making your way south.
Not Jaxom. He just
Cooler
sits
clothes.
there in full plate, covered
Warm
in
weather
fur, just being...
Brisk.
Like,
Gross.
he's starting to get that sweaty fighter smell. Like, it's been a long war and I haven't showered.
I kind of like that corn chip smell.
Your skin shouldn't smell like Doritos.
Cool Ranch?
Especially if you haven't been eating Doritos.
Like extra spicy?
You need to not.
Hint of lime? Oh, sorry, that's Tostitos. My bad.
Okay. So we are seeing Anra'Lathan.
Well, you are seeing the areas around it, yes.
Yes.
As you're making your way south, you note that there really aren't other settlements out here. The countryside out here is mostly uninhabited.
So wizards just don't believe in infrastructure.
You don't need
They
it.
don't need it. They can be like, no, too much snow, poof. No, too much heat, cool.
Every so
I'm
often,
hungry, poof, chocolate cake.
on
Tastes
the
like
third
chicken.
day, you'll actually see as you're traveling and making your way around, in the distance, every so often, like on a hilltop or through some of the trees, you'll be able to see what looks to be the tops of towers or buildings of very odd construction styles built here and there, but usually well off the beaten path, and you're only seeing like small hints of them.
Yep. They're wizard towers, aren't they?
Some of them, yes.
Elliot, we're surrounded by wizard towers, aren't we?
Yes.
That is
Some of them are rock
horrifyingly
towers.
dangerous.
There's still something to said about about eyes on the roads.
But being surrounded by wizard towers, we are adventurers. We will die. There are too many wizard towers.
There's only an explosion in some of them every once in a great long week.
That doesn't actually sound like the truth. Sounds like it should be much more frequent because these are wizard towers.
Once
I
in a
don't
great
understand.
long
What is wrong with a wizard tower? The last wizardy like tower was just full of zombies.
Full of zombies and,
It only
You
exploded
need
once.
the proper
We
permits in
survived.
order to do zombies.
I'm sorry. Did I hear permits in zombies?
Yes.
Because last time I checked, we were trying to make sure that there are no more zombies, eh?
Don't worry about it. They're well controlled.
I'd like to point out that we are actually surrounded by the vertical format of bloody dungeons everywhere. This is not a good thing. Anra'Lathan sounds like a very bad plan.
We're going there anyways.
I don't know.
Follow.
If you think about it, think about the loot we go get along the way.
Full of wizards.
You are not looting my country.
Well, I mean, let's not remove it completely off the table.
So the last day of travel finds you in a much warmer climate. It seems to be just kind of a comfortable feel to the air, almost supernaturally so, in a kind of a late spring, early summer kind of warmth to it. And it seems to stay that way even into the evening, where it gets a little cooler, but not so much as you would expect.
It's almost thermostatic
I do not know what that word means.
because the temperature, stays the same. Static. Thermostatic. So natural. We should be sweaty. This should be a muggy bog.
No. Wizards. Magic.
Is everybody here a wizard?
No.
Oh.
Most of them are.
What do you do when you are not a wizard?
You'll see.
Do you have bakers?
Wizard bakers.
I mean, like bakers that they are not wizards.
Yes.
I mean, they have to get chocolate cake that tastes like
That's
chocolate
what
cake
I'm
from
trying to
somewhere.
say.
That being the root of the problem, really.
Yeah, there's a whole town of non-magical people.
I mean, I really do believe that we need to go
Wait,
to not only
a
all the
whole
bakeries.
town of non-magical people?
yes.
As in, they're all put aside by themselves?
Like segregated?
Yeah.
I like how he said that without flinching.
Am I the only one that thinks that this sounds like a terrible plan? You've got wizard towers everywhere. You've got the non-magic people being corralled off. This.
I mean, like, Anra'Lathan uber alles, right?
I wouldn't quite say that, but
Well,
It's a song. It starts with California. And you can play it on Rock Band. Shut up.
okay then. Well,
maybe you shouldn't be quoting Hansel und Gretel songs.
Okay.
so the rest of the travel there, you note, as you're making your way through, there doesn't seem to be one other thing that you have normally seen in other countries you've traveled through. There were no guards traveling along. You didn't see people along you didn't see like a traveling watchman or anything like that outside the city.
I absolutely expect that because they're all dead because this land is filled with wizard towers.
But do you not also do magic?
I do absolutely natural magic based on the fact that I'm so magnificent that the world warps itself around me and or special powers that I got from an alien. That is absolutely rational.
Seems perfectly reasonable, yeah.
I do believe bards do pull from their audience, do they not? Even if their audience is
Are
themselves.
you accusing me of being a vampire?
Yes.
That is absolutely incorrect. I happen to be just so magnificent that the world must answer to my desires.
I understand. He mispronounced vampire. What he means is narcissist.
Absolutely.
So do you pull from the audience or tug from the audience?
I bring the audience joy.
Tugs.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely tugging is happening.
So, making your way closer to the city, you're getting a little bit more excited as you're getting closer, or at least anxious.
Anxious
as you're getting closer.
is a better word for it.
Gonna go
would
see
be
your
too.
daddies.
The terrain here is not mountainous, but definitely there's a lot of hills and valleys here. The road is usually kept at a really casual grade throughout the terrain here, so that the trees and everything that are built up and or planted up and along in these kind of hilly terrain, it's very difficult to get a long visual range on anything. So when you come up over a particular rise and then start making your way down and around a way, you suddenly find yourself coming out into a bit of an open clearing. One side of it is dominated by a wall, what looks to be made of kind of an alabaster white looking stone without any sort of blemish on it. And as the road continues, it seems to meet up with a archway that is guarded by what look to be two people in what look to be some maybe medium armor, tabard over the top, and then going down into kind of a skirt at the bottom.
I like it when people wear skirts.
Breastplate, some plates hanging. Both of them are standing, one on either side of the door. One of them just seems to be talking amiably with the other. The other one is kind of looking out with one hand resting on a long sword that's kept at their hip.
Gods, fantastic! Hello!
They see you all approaching. The other one stops talking and they kind of turn to receive you as you show.
Show my symbol of being a resident.
Okay. So as you approach, they don't say anything. They just kind of, one of them holds up a hand. Elliot,
High five.
You actually like pull out a necklace.
Yeah, I pull out the necklace that they haven't really seen much.
Yeah. He pulls out a necklace with what looks to be kind of an odd arcane sigil placed into kind of a half shield.
There's no time to show off your bling. We got to get through it.
I assume it's a house crest.
The one that was standing closest actually pulls out a hand, holds out a hand and moves it, to which you actually see the glyph light up and turn slightly. He nods. Welcome home.
Thank you. These are they're with me.
Hello.
Understood.
Salutations. You're the first gods we've actually seen. I thought that you all got killed being surrounded by wizard towers.
They're with me.
Temporary visitors visas, then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and like an exit visa?
Greetings.
Welcome.
Jaxom, I have a question.
Takes some paperwork, opens it up, starts reading through, nods, makes a motion to the other one, who reaches into a pouch and pulls out what kind of looks like a stamp, but it looks to be the bottom of it seems to be metal, and he walks over to Lindo, being the first one closest there.
Hello.
Arm.
Okay.
Grabs your arm, pulls it,
okay.
and pulls up your sleeve
Hello.
and jabs this thing on your arm.
Hi.
It actually stings for just a moment.
Okay, no, I don't like it.
And as he removes
Deal with it.
you're left with a very slight, what almost looks like a brand.
Since when do I get that doing?
It will remove itself 2 days after you leave the city. While you are in the city, you are to keep that visible.
Oh, it's like an overages bar stamp.
Next.
I don't suppose you could do like the palm of my hand or something like that. Would that be
Acceptable.
okay? Good.
Does it. Again, it kind of stings for just a moment.
Excellent. Thank you.
Next. Remove the gauntlet, please.
I mean, yeah, he's got that thing.
I thought your body was your temple or something.
Does the same thing, stings for just a moment, and you're... the symbol looks similar to what Elliot's did, but definitely different. Says, make sure those are visible at all times. This will allow you entrance to the central city proper, but it will not allow you to any of the restricted districts.
Restricted district.
Citizens only.
So I'm assuming this means Elliot's responsible for us.
He brought you into the city. Anything you do is his responsibility, but you are still your own people, and he will not be held accountable if you were to do something unseemly.
That's okay. They're more worried about me anyways.
Welcome home.
Thank you.
You are free to go about your way.
All right. To my house.
So, as you make your way to the archway, you note that it's actually somewhat difficult to see through it. At first, it just looked like you were going to be walking on the path on the other side. Didn't look like there's anything much of note over there. Maybe some continuing hills, some other forest. But the moment that you step through, you feel this wave go over you, and you blink, and you feel that you're actually in an area that is a little bit cooler than the outside because of the amount of water spray in the area. And you're actually standing on a balcony fairly high up, because what you're looking at is a waterfall basin that stretches out at least half a mile ahead of you. And the height of the waterfalls towers over you several hundred feet up. And you see there are at least 20 or so different distinct waterfalls, all pouring water into the basin. And ahead of you...
Like the never-ending story?
Kind of.
Oh.
Niagara Falls style.
Okay, so yes, the never-ending story. Great. Okay.
And inside this waterfall basin is a series of floating base chunks of rock with the city itself built on them. And they're joined by long, ornate, curved bridges that are connecting all of the different parts. And you see them, disparate islands of these things floating kind of just casually near each other, connected by these bridges. Some of the bridges seem very sturdy, stone make. Some of them are curved, and you actually see them moving just slightly as the islands are just not quite in sync with each other.
I'm not a fan of those sort of sway-like bridges. I feel like I'm going to look down, I'm going to see a tide of moving something that is not water.
Then fly.
Oh, I suppose, actually, yeah, I can do that. Pull out the guitar, pluck a few notes, cast fly on myself.
Okay. You note of the structures around you, though, the most imposing and largest structure you see is on one of the largest of the islands that is further back and slightly above the others. You see a series of very large, very tall buildings culminating in one single tall, twisting spire that goes up almost as tall as the surrounding waterfalls themselves.
A wizard tower.
The top seems open, and there are what look to be crystals slowly kind of floating around the outside of the top.
Yeah, that's definitely a wizard tower.
It's not a wizard tower. It is the wizard tower.
So we're talking about, like, a mega dungeon.
Oh, your dads are in there, eh?
It's his father's towers.
That's where your fathers are, eh?
No. That's where the council is.
So what you're saying is you start out fairly inexperienced fighting in the lower levels. As you ascend, and then there will be like floor bosses and things like that.
Sure, whatever.
I do not think a wizard tower is what you think it is, eh?
I think when you look into most wizard towers, you're going to find I'm absolutely correct.
Depends on the type of wizard, Mr. Wilf.
I've met a limited amount of wizards in my days. Unfortunately, the vast majority seem to be the ones that I already have these preconceived notions on.
Excuse me?
I said the vast majority, not all of them.
Excuse me?
Did you pass? You're excused.
I do not feel comfortable being in between this argument. Okay, so I cannot fly. I'm just going to start walking on one of these. This bridge looks okay, right?
Yeah, the bridge that you are making your way down, because the balcony does have an entrance into the city proper. The second largest island is the one that you are making your way onto now. This one looks distinctly different than any of the other ones due to the fact that some of the actual construction on them doesn't mesh as well with the rest of the city. So many things are made of this very, very white, clean stone, sometimes with mosaics on them, other designs in reds and golds. But this particular island seems to have construction that looks more like what you would find in Dariel and some of the other areas around. Wood construction, squat, wide stone buildings that aren't as graceful as the other parts. So you can see, as you're making your way down, you're noticing more other races, kind of average people, like you would expect to see anywhere else. So when you were in Silverhill, when you were in Kellenhall, these are the kind of people you would normally be seeing. But every so often, you'll see the people who are wandering around that stick out in this area like a sore thumb, like how Elliot sticks out almost anywhere else. These people are walking clean, immaculate robes, small gems floating around in circles around their head, glowing runes that seem to be kind of floating about them in different patterns. And they're going about their day seemingly just uninterested in what's happening around them.
Interesting.
So, crazy wizard city?
Yes. Well,
Neat.
not crazy. They're all quite sane. It's the sorcerers that are crazy.
Is this like the visitors' lounge?
No. Residents. This is residence.
Oh, okay. I always thought the wizards would look more wizardy. So it looks like some of these look wizardy and some of them do not.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go try chocolate cake.
Obviously, this is the most important thing.
I need to go home first.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed. I had a little drink about... Yeah, what I'm saying is, yes, I understand. And where do we go?
This way.
Where do we go from here?
This way.
All right.
Are you planning on putting them up at your home, or are you planning on having them stay at a local inn? Because in the restricted area, they have a very limited amount of...
I plan on putting them in the local inn so that they can actually move around, but home first.
Okay.
We're visiting your home, and then you're going to put us up in a rickety old inn.
You would prefer it.
I see.
They don't allow non-citizens to walk around freely in the inner city.
Okay. That seems rude.
This sounds, well, sort of Orwellian when you really get down to the brass tacks of it.
I'm not worried.
So Elliot leads you through this area, which, again, through a market square with people hawking wares going about it. Although even here, the wares you're seeing
Worse. You could have tagged us.
are things like...
They did.
even in this area, some of the wares you're seeing are like people are flaunting like very magical gear, things with minor enchantments on them, just like other people would be trying to sell like crappy jewelry in the other
just
place.
a model.
So there's small children's toys that are animated and moving around, people who are showing like art pieces of floating rocks and crystal that are having circles of rare metals floating about them. It seems that the people here, even in this area, are selling very, very magically charged, easily accessible things. So stuff you would normally find in the elite rich places anywhere else is just, street side tchotchkes.
Neat, I think.
But Elliot leads you through that area as people are shouting out that they have the best prices on these sorts of reagents, and if you're looking to buy an exotic pet and these things, as they're shouting out, pointing at cages that are filled with various animals that you're pretty sure some of them are not quite safe to be around, say, children or the elderly.
I want to check out the exotic pets.
We already have an exotic pet.
Other than Lindo.
Please, for all that is good and holy, do not treat Lindo like that here. It will make things worse.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean?
It'll just make things worse. Elliot, by the way, because he needs to show his
Word
wizardiness
about that?
full force here, is walking, and the ground behind him is slowly freezing.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just floating around everyone,
Okay.
like an obscene ironstone or something.
Okay, so you're peacocking, and what? We are your retinue?
Here, yeah, you kind of have to be. Sorry.
Okay.
So you make your way over very briefly over to the exotic pets vendor, to where you see a half-elven man, very thin, kind of wiry, gives you a look through one good eye, and he's looking at you like, you look like you know what you're looking for.
I heard that you have interesting pets.
The best places this side of Dariel.
Oh, really?
Yes, indeed. What are you looking for?
Dario,
Yes, indeed. Some of these caught in the very wilds around them.
What would you say is your most
Yeah, it's hard to do.
ridiculous pet?
Ridiculous as in price or ridiculous as in abilities?
I was going to say ridiculous as in concept, but abilities also works. If you can mesh those together, I would be far more interested.
Very well, very well.
That is unnatural. What is wrong with you?
I have come into contact with very many odd beings in the past, and some of them
Was it aliens? It was aliens, wasn't it? Oh my god. It's okay.
Of course, sir. Just the best.
The best aliens?
See?
As he
This man knows his
kind
things.
of shows with his hands the stack of various different crates and cages, and he motions to one, and as he lifts a blanket over it, you see a kind of hunched over small humanoid figure, dark red leathery skin, little wings, and a tail ending in a scorpion stinger, kind of looks out with kind of red glowing eyes, and it kind of hisses at you and kind of scratches away at the
I
light.
don't like it.
Says, "You're looking for exotics then?"
What is that?
knowledge religion?
Yeah.
No, I don't have any idea.
I suppose I could probably.
You're looking for a familiar, are you?
No, not at the moment.
9.
That's an imp.
Neat. That's
Disgusting.
Lindo.
Let's
cool.
not.
I'll have to check.
Not your style, then. Perhaps, as he reaches under a table and pulls out a jar, very large jar, and he pops it down, and there's a glowing ball floating in the middle of it, and surrounding it are what look to be like plates of metal in a kind of a geometric pattern that reshaping itself, kind of creating it. That would be a religion roll.
Another religion.
Natural 20.
15.
That's ironic.
That would be a 21.
And what was yours?
15.
15?
24.
Yeah,
by the way.
the three of you recognize a lantern archon.
What the,
The
hell
jar
is
itself
that?
is inscribed with numerous runes of various different kinds. As he plops that down on the table, you are looking for the best of familiars. You've come to the right place.
What is it? What is it?
So, question.
What is it?
Well, that is sort of an alien, but like
What?
how the sword is an alien thing.
It's an angel?
No.
Well,
A very small one.
I'm sorry.
strictly
It
speaking,
is a tiny angel?
Yes.
I mean, the last thing you showed was
personally don't.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
So-
player does not know. Character does know.
a lantern archon is sort of one of the smallest versions of an angel, the equivalent of
Okay.
an imp, but
An angelic one.
Yes.
So
I'm not sure you should put angels in jars. I think the gods would be very upset with you.
Have no worry of the gods.
So, question: how much for that lovely little archon there?
You want this? This feels like what you would be drawn to then.
Well, I'm just saying that it does have that certain je ne sais quoi to it that really.
How much is it?
It matches my sword.
I see. Yes, it does. Very much so. Normally I would charge much more, but for you, friend, I can go no less than about 6,500 gold.
6,500.
Yes, sir. I would let it go for no more, no less.
So I might have to get some assets in order, and I will get back to you, my friend.
Very
I will
well.
indeed.
Perhaps it may be here, perhaps not. It is a very hot ticket item, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that would be a hot ticket item.
Very, very useful in many rituals and spells.
I can only imagine.
Also very useful as a nightlight for your children.
I do not think you should put angels in a jar. It's what I'm saying.
Lindo.
It's like,
It's all right. Let's thank you, sir. We
could
will,
I have it for a
will
dog?
certainly
Key, 2
bet.
gems in 1,000?
Moving right along.
We need to go.
Come back when you've gathered your money, and perhaps it will be here for you, sir. Until then, if there's anything else you like.
Well, I think that should do it. Thank you, my good man. You have yourself a marvelous day. I'm going to just grab Lindo's wrist, and we're going to just wander off.
You as well, sir.
We should really free the angels in the jar, eh?
We should really worry about that sort of thing, yes. But
You would know fully licensed and bonded this kind of thing happens. Extraplanar creatures sometimes are a thing, especially lesser ones.
Yeah,
Familiars, etc. Yeah.
the same level of it's an imp and a thing. So yeah, it's not a
I'm
big
just
deal.
going to cough my brain
Not to
out
me.
in distaste.
As you guys are approaching the walls to the inner city where the residents are allowed, and as you have made your way to the grand city-state of Anra'Lathan and nearly completed your journey, that is where we will be ending for the session.
I'm going to steal those angels.
we're doomed.
No, you are not.
I think actually I might
completely
be
legal.
in agreement with Lindo on this one.
I think we're going to steal those angels, but we're not telling them about this. We're just having this conversation
Really,
with friends.
this is something we.
You speak Gnomish?
I understand Elvish. You got Elvish on you?
I do not got Elvish on me.
How about these can't?
No, but we'll have to learn that.
Yes, indeed. And as we end for this session, we would like to thank you all for being here for the live stream, and thank you all for listening there on the RSS feed.
Yes.
We're glad to be back. We're hoping you enjoyed this, and until the next time,
We're going to steal some angels.
Yeah.
game on, internets.